Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today we have a couple of juicy crypto pieces to talk about. I think you guys will very much enjoy it as we have a lot of varying crypto news, I would say. So it's most likely not going to be shown here perfectly because it does not fit to my screen really well, but we have some very interesting news topics regarding XRP, a little bit about Binance having to stop some operations over in Spain. We have some really big problems which occurred on OpenSea. Well, they got hacked, so we have some stuff to talk about in that front, of course. Then Google, you guys again can't read it perfectly, but Google is hiring for a big Web3 push this year. Very interesting. Whenever it's Google crypto news, it's always worth a little read. We have some sanctions coming in from, I guess, the US Treasury regarding a hack, yet again. I think it's very interesting. And then about Tron's USDD stablecoin, or at least why Tron's price was doing so well. To quickly add to that though, guys, if you did not know, there's also a 2,500 XRP giveaway that I'm doing right now. And all you have to do to enter, guys, is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. Those 3 steps will put you into the pool to be able to win. Then again, if you don't want to do it that way, you can also just go over to the list. A link is going to be down below for that, and join through any other means. The reason I did it this way is because I think this way it's a little bit more fair. Since if you heard about this announcement over on Twitter, you can enter. If you heard about it over on YouTube, you can enter. And all the entries, if you're following me on more platforms, you get more tickets that way. I think it's fairer. All right. Having said that, regarding XRP, just a couple of comments I briefly want to share with you all. I think it's very interesting though. We have this to start off first. The Bearable Bull said it's been exactly 4 years, 5 months, 2 weeks, 4 days, 6 hours, and the rest, nah, I guess the hours even doesn't work anymore either, since XRP hit its all-time high. It's been a long freaking time, guys. It's been a long time since XRP hit its all-time high, and it sometimes makes me think. I actually posted earlier today. I don't really worry about it because the way I see it as well, XRP usually runs pretty late. Meaning, if we get a crypto run going on, it's going to be pretty severe. Most likely, XRP will be pretty late in that cycle, but once it does go, it goes pretty hard. And maybe this time around, it's been extended by even another year, which is not so nice. But the moment it goes, I think it will really outperform Bitcoin, Ether, and whatnot pretty severely. And again, that is kind of based upon the fact that the XRP utility is a lot bigger than many realize. The infrastructure is being built out for such a long time, and you got to remember what we're focusing on right now. What is being reflected in the price? I personally think. Oh, I kind of spit in the mic, I think there. What I kind of think we're focusing on right now is the lawsuit. And as I described before, I think it's going to go in 3 phases. First, the price is most likely going to appreciate, if at all, regarding the lawsuit. So whatever update comes out of that will increase the price or decrease it. Then it'll be the exchanges who are going to relist it again or something in that ballpark. And then I think, right, it's going to be the actual utility of the coin. Because right now, Ripple is building that rails. And as I also described on the channel, I think a dozen times by now, Ripple is continuing to build. They've year over year kept on increasing their performances and done better, done amazing. And I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. Regardless of whether or not they win the lawsuit against the SEC, it actually does not matter for 95% of whatever they're doing. At the end of the day, XRP is clear in a lot of other countries. It's only the US that it's bad in. Yet the only problem is the US accounts for a lot. So if it's not good over there, in terms of crypto enthusiasm, it counts. In terms of Ripple as a company's usage, well, yeah, they cannot onboard a lot of companies in the US right now because they're all waiting out. But at the end of the day, Ripple will continue pretty well, if you ask me. I think they're doing pretty well as well. Then Crypto Aries shared this. I wanted to quickly share it as well. Facts. Hinman was managing partner of Shearman & Sterling SF Office. SNS was on Enterprise Ethereum Alliance Legal Industry Working Group. Hinman brought Robert Evans from SNS to SEC as his deputy advisor June 2017. SNS wrote XRP article 23 days before the speech. So what I'm trying to say right there, all right? I'm not trying to draw any conclusions out right now, right off the bat. What I'm trying to say is that the connections between Hinman, Ethereum, law firms, biasness regarding XRP, mostly against XRP, the connections are starting to become so clear where I think it's really hard to negate it now. For any person that's not affiliated with XRP at all, so has nothing, even them looking at it objectively, might look at it and say, well, yeah, this really doesn't make a lot of sense, because it just doesn't. Nobody can tell me right now, oh no, of course, Ripple this, Ripple that, SEC this, that. Well, a lot of these things are shady, and I think everybody would agree with me on that. You might even say, well, SEC didn't do any unfair practices or so, which is fine. You know, if you seem to believe that, that's completely cool. But you can't deny that a lot of these are oddities, or are strange. The fact that they brought the specific members in and they're all on such a nice accord and stuff, and the bonuses and how all the puzzle pieces came in together perfectly. I think it's very sketch, but again, I might be surprised eventually of a result. All right, so the title says Binance to offer crypto derivatives after CNMV order. It's actually a longer story, but if you don't know, this is the Comisión Nacional del Mercado de Valores, the Spanish securities regulator. Let's quickly read this. And my camera is a little bit laggy. Sorry, man. Just got a new MacBook as well. Just got it, but it still lags out. So if any of you guys know what I'm doing wrong, please let me know, because I just spent like $4,000 on the laptop, but it's still shitty. It is what it is. Spanish security regulator, CNMV, is pressuring crypto exchanges to stop offering crypto-linked derivatives. Main purpose behind the decision is to protect investors who use these products as investment tools, and Binance has headed to Spanish regulators' warnings, or heeded, and has withdrawn all their derivatives offerings from its investments page. So the reason I'm a little bit skeptical / scared / whatever you want to call it right there is because Binance is so huge. The majority of people get introduced to crypto nowadays through Binance, you know, in terms of what their first exchange is, right? It's mostly Binance, I would say. Maybe FTX nowadays. So if they all of a sudden let go of such a very important, even though it may not be profitable for a lot of people, very important way to utilize crypto, be involved with crypto, whatever way you want to call it, I don't think that ever is a good thing, right? Then again, you might say from the regulator's perspective, if they want to ban crypto exchanges from leverage stuff, is that really a bad thing? Yes, but no. I personally think let the people be free. But if they are saying it in the perspective of, well, too many people are losing money, then it's not a bad thing for a government to do. I just think they should kind of put it out there like, okay, you know what? Go through a little questionnaire, a big one, for example. Go through a big questionnaire, and as soon as they've read it all and answered a couple of questions right, they know what they're doing, allow them to trade with more money than they actually have, for example, because at the end of the day, guys, leverage trading is, if you guys don't know, or derivatives trading in that sense, it can be risky, but it depends on how you do it. If you, for example, have $1,000 in your balance, but you keep making trades with $10, but then again, a derivative of let's say you were to do, for example, $10 with 10 times leverage at $100, for example. Well, you have enough money to do anything, right? I mean, even if you get liquidated, you lose $10. You don't lose $100 all of a sudden, except for if you go for cross margin, things might kind of mess up there. But again, there should be questionnaires for this. I still think, however, if you plan to take more advantage of these smaller moves, let's say you're trying to make more money off of 1% move in Bitcoin rather than, I guess putting in more money, so to speak. It's just about severity, it's about tactic. I don't think you should kind of stop people from doing that if they so please to. And if you're seeing that too many people lose money with that, put up more restrictions. Don't restrict it all the way through. You know, don't let them stop offering it. But again, that's my opinion about the matter, and my opinion doesn't really matter. Then, popular NFT marketplace OpenSea hit by another hack. Do not click links to the Discord. I think it's already been fixed, right? Because this news came out yesterday. I covered it as soon as it came out over on Twitter. If you're not following me over on there yet, make sure you check it out. Where is my Twitter link? Nowhere here, but, you know, nowhere. No. Yeah. So we are continuing to investigate this situation, and we'll share information as we have it. It said that about 10 ETH or so got stolen from people, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. It could have been, you know, a couple tens of millions of dollars, a couple hundreds of millions of dollars. But this was actually, I would say, pretty okay. So even though, yeah, I'm talking about, you know, $30,000 as if it's nothing, but it kind of is for a very severe hack like this. OpenSea's Discord getting hacked, and only $30,000 being stolen. I would have expected it to be tens and some millions, because when the Bored Ape Discord or whatever got hacked, or Twitter, I'm not sure again what it was. I think Discord, yeah, that was a couple $1 million in a really big instant. OpenSea, I thought it was way bigger, but I also think, you know what, with OpenSea, a lot of people understand that you're not going to press anything along these lines. You're not stupid. You know, this. It said YouTube NFT.art. You can get the YouTube Genesis Mint Pass. I mean, it did look a little bit real, but not really. It's been too spammed, too stupid. Yeah, they could have done it in a way better way. All right, OpenSea's. Never mind. I'm not gonna tell them how to scam better. But there would have been better ways to make it more believable than this. It was pretty stupid on their part, but let that be a good thing, right? All right, then, breaking news. Google is hiring for big Web3 push this year. A new job opening by Google seems to confirm recent speculation that the internet giant plans to go big on Web3 technology this year. There's been some really heavy speculation over the last couple of months that Google is gearing up for a really big Web3 push, because you gotta understand, Google has the power to really put Web3 on the map, but also to be the pioneer of it all. Because right now, the biggest search engine, you'd really need to use them for anything on the internet nowadays. You kind of have to, because Google, they're everywhere, right? You're watching this on a Google service right now on YouTube. From that perspective as well, if they go heavy on it, you even have cloud as well. If they go heavy on it, they can be the pioneers in that, and I think that really increase their valuation drastically. Not by changing the name like Facebook did, but really starting to make affect people's lives in a good way. I mean, metaverse, is that good? Is that bad? It's difficult to say. But a Web3 push can really bring a lot of good to the world. And I'm thinking, yeah, they most likely are exploring it quite significantly. One thing to be really wary of and not be ignorant for is the fact that these companies are trying it out and are looking into it. There's a 0% chance, it's being confirmed already as well anyway, that Apple hasn't looked into crypto, that they haven't thought about getting into crypto. There are, however, benefits to them not doing it yet, or I would say there's more negative sides to doing it now. So they're most likely waiting. But like a couple of people have said as well, if Apple gives the go-ahead for native crypto in your phone, for example, which could come out in a couple of years, that's the big plus that everybody needs, and it's really not too far away, right? I mean, Apple is not a big bank, so to speak, so they don't really host a lot of your money on there. You're not going to put all your money into the Apple iStore, right? But I think with a crypto wallet, they could have a way easier way to do it if they really wanted to. And that goes for a lot of these companies, right? If Google, I know they're not going to do it, right? But if Google, for example, were to actually go for a crypto wallet, it would be the biggest out there in the world, and it would be so huge. Or if some of these guys were to actually look a little bit more into the yield farming sector and create some of their own protocols, or if any of these bigger platforms were to go for their own stablecoin, I think it would win. But that's a story for a different day. I actually have a story about stablecoins winning or losing a little bit later today. So if you're excited for that, it's like the comparison between UST and USDD, the new Tron stablecoin. But yeah, let me know down below, by the way, guys, if you'd like to see a video on Luna/Terra. I have a really cool video planned. I have one on Cardano planned and one on Luna/Terra planned. But let me know down below if you're excited for that, and I'll get to posting it in a couple of hours. Otherwise, it'll most likely be a couple of days, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Crypto Mixer is sanctioned by US Treasury for role in Axie Infinity hack. Crypto Mixer is said to have processed 20.5 million out of the 620 taken by some group of hackers. Whenever I read this, I'm thinking, I'm not too sure that that's actually what happened. It could be just something that they pass off as them hacking it. So I'm not really, the guy to believe that straight to the bat. But I don't really care who hacked the money. I don't give a shit, really, in reality. It doesn't matter for me. All that matters here is what they are doing afterwards now. So apparently under a specific, very, very specific treasury. So this is a really interesting, I guess, secretary. Today, for the first time ever, Treasury is sanctioning a virtual currency mixer. We are taking action against illicit financial activity by the DPRK and will not allow state-sponsored thievery and its money laundering enablers to go unanswered. This is one of the first times, maybe it says the first time ever, but it's basically one of the first times that they're actively going against mixers in the broad daylight like this. Mixers have been sanctioned for a long time, but kind of unofficially, not as big on the paper, and it's not as easy to go after them as you might think. But this is the first time where it's been openly put like this, like, hey, we're coming for you, we're not letting this one go, but they're claiming that it's for this specific cause that I'm highlighting right now, which I do not want to say out loud. All right, and then to kind of top it off about the USDD, like I just mentioned, Tron token is most likely pumping right now because of two main things. The Tron DAO, in my own opinion, I think that's one of the bigger things. They appointed as their first member of this new initiative, I forgot the name. I think Andromeda, whatever. So it's the guys behind FTX, basically Sam Bankman-Fried's VC, which I think is a huge deal. That's one thing. Alameda, I think. Alameda. But also Tron DAO Reserve, which backs the new stablecoin USDD. They're going for the new stablecoin, and I told you guys before, these stablecoin ideas are really important for, let's just call it like this. Stablecoins are critical to the crypto community, and algorithmic stablecoins, in that same sense, are something that I think is going to really change the game up, which is UST is doing already. The idea that you can now get a 30% yield on stablecoin through USDD, that is huge. Now, I'm a little bit more afraid that this one is going to crash, obviously, because it's new, and I'm a little bit afraid of Tron But I used to be a big Tron supporter a couple years ago, and I mean 30% is huge, right? So that's what people are excited about it. That's why they hoard onto it, and yeah, it's also like this little race for just getting in there first, sort of. But 30% yield is really, really nice. I'm definitely going to try that out, and I'll give you some feedback. One thing I also should say, guys, is I'm really addicted to Steppen. Man, I'm an addict. Should I make a video about Steppen? How to get the activation code and everything? Because I think I might be able to help some people out with activation codes. I think so, now that I've learned the loop. So, but I'll give you guys some more info on Steppen if you guys want to. I might also make a video in real life about the Steppen thing, which is something I've never done before. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today. Make sure you press the like button, though, if you enjoyed the video.